Hi, good day to everyone. We were here to give you some information about free fall and projectile motion. First, in general physics, free fall is free descent of a body in which the gravitational force is the only force acting on it. A free falling object is an object that is falling under the sole influence of gravity. Any object that is being acted upon only by the force of gravity is said to be in a state of free fall. There are two important motion characteristics that are true of free-falling objects. In Newtonian physics, free fall is any motion of a body where its weight is the only force acting upon it. In the context of general relativity, where gravitation is reduced to space-time curvature, a body in free fall has no force acting on it and it moves along a geodesic. The present article concerns itself with free fall in the Newtonian domain. An object in the technical sense of free fall may not necessarily be falling down in the usual sense of the term. An object moving upwards would not normally be considered to be falling, but if it is subject to the force of gravity only, it is said to be in free fall. The moon doesn't free fall. In a uniform gravitational field, in the absence of any other forces, gravitation acts on each part of the body equally, and this is akin to weightlessness. A condition which also obtains when the gravitational field is zero, such as when far away from gravitating body. A body in free fall experiences zero gravity. The term free fall is often used more loosely than in the strict sense defined above. Thus, falling through an atmosphere without a deployed parachute or lifting device is also often referred to as free fall. The aerodynamic drag forces in such situations prevent them from producing full weightlessness, and thus a skydiver's free fall after reaching terminal velocity produces the sensation of the body's weight being supported on a cushioned air.
And now, let's proceed to the discussions about the projectile motion. But before we start, what is projectile motion anyway? Projectile motion refers to the motion of an object projected into the air at an angle. A few examples of this include the soccer ball being kicked, baseball being thrown, or an athlete long jumping. Even fireworks and water fountains can be an example of projectile motion. In this lesson, you will learn the fundamentals of projectile motion. Projectile motion is a form of motion in which an object or particle called projectile is thrown obliquely near the Earth's surface. It moves along a curved path called trajectory. The path followed by projectile motion, or what we call trajectory, projectile motion only occurs when there is one force applied at the beginning of that trajectory, after which there is no force in operation apart from gravity. A projectile is an object upon which the only force acting is gravity. There are a variety of examples of projectiles. An object dropped from the rest is a projectile. An object that's thrown vertically upward is also a projectile. And an object which is thrown upward at an angle to the horizontal is also called projectile. A projectile is any object that once projected or dropped continues in motion by its own inertia and is influenced only by the downward force gravity. A projectile is a body which is propelled with some initial velocity, which it has their own direction from the where you thrown it up to the where it drops. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then, although they be acted upon the forces of gravity and possible drag, the maximum upward distance h reached by the projectile is called the height. The horizontal distance traveled x, the range or sometimes called distance, and the path of the object is called its trajectory. If a body is allowed to free fall under gravity and is acted upon by the drag of air resistance, it reaches a maximum downward velocity known as the terminal velocity. The study of motion projectiles is called ballistics. And yes, so simple as I'm saying, how the projectile motion differentiate from the free fall. Free fall doesn't have distance or it doesn't move to another direction, but also comes from the up and down moves. But while in projectile motion, it have a direction and distance or what is so-called velocity, in where you throw something and you create a curved path and distance from you to the object. Simple as that, and that's projectile motion. Thanks for watching!